Hey guys, it's Megan, and today I'll be showing you how I set up my new and improved craft room. I started organizing this room last year, and here's what it looked like at the beginning. A lot has changed since then. I've gotten rid of about half of the stuff that was in here and turned it into an actual workspace. I like to go around and organize things before the holidays since I'm always super busy and do a ton of crafting this time of year. So here's what my room looked like before. As you can see, there have been a few minor changes since you guys last saw this room. I painted the walls a lighter shade of purple, and my dad helped me hang pegboards and make shelves on the back wall. The space is a lot nicer than what I started with, but it still wasn't functioning as well as I would have liked it to. I started the makeover at my desk. This was actually our old kitchen table. I covered the top with contact paper and made this table skirt to hide all the junk that's under there. This is where I film most of my videos. The desk isn't bad, but it's pretty short. I'm 5'7", so not like super tall or anything, but tall enough that sitting here all day can get kind of cramped. I have my FlexiSpot desk bike that I use when I edit or do things on the computer, but the desktop on that is a little too small to film on. I cleaned off and took apart my old desk and made room for my new standing desk. This desk is by FlexiSpot as well. It's their EC1 white frame with a white top. And a huge thank you to FlexiSpot for sending me this product to review. Make sure to click the link in the top of the description to get $15 off your next FlexiSpot purchase. I was so excited when FlexiSpot reached out to me. Like I said earlier, I bought their desk bike about a year ago and I use it almost every day. You know, making arts and crafts videos is generally a pretty sedentary activity, so I always try to sneak in a little extra movement when I can. I got the 48 by 30 white desktop, which is a few inches smaller than my old desk. The desk was honestly a little bit harder to put together than I expected. Like, a few of the holes weren't pre-drilled, which made it a little bit confusing, but it wasn't a huge deal. It's just something to keep in mind. I'll link the video that I used to help me assemble the desk down below. Once I got that figured out, it went a lot smoother. I'd recommend having someone else help you if you can. I started putting it together myself, but I got my dad to help me flip it over since you put it together upside down. This is seriously the coolest thing though. You just press and hold the up arrow to raise the desk, and press and hold the down arrow to lower it. Since the desktop was so nice, I didn't want to mess it up. So I got some marble contact paper, just like I had on my old desk, and covered the desktop. I smoothed out any air bubbles with my Cricut scraper tool. The white desktop would look great for a video or two, but it makes it super easy for paint, eraser shavings, and random pieces of hair to show up. And the marble contact paper does a pretty good job at hiding that kind of stuff. And if it ever gets too messed up, it can always be replaced. I chose the white desktop though, so that even if the contact paper was a little bit see-through, it wouldn't matter because the desktop's white. I cut off the excess contact paper with an X-Acto knife, and here's what the desk looked like when I was done. I bought this wire desk organizer from Amazon to replace the cardboard one I made. I was hoping that this would take up less desk space, since my laptop can sit on top and I can put, all my crap inside the organizer. It ended up being kind of bigger than I expected, but it'll be easy enough to move if I need more space. Next, I moved on to this area inside the door. I felt like this space wasn't being used as efficiently as it could be. I have the squishy chain, which is cute, but I never do anything with it, and this old bathroom cabinet. And the bad thing about it being a bathroom cabinet is that this drawer is fake, and the small doors made it really difficult to get to anything inside. Since I had these cube shelves chilling over here in this corner, I thought that I could nail them together and put a top on it to organize that space. And again, shout out to my dad for helping me with this. I was lucky that the shelves were exactly the length of the wall. And one shelf was a little bit shorter than the other, so he cut out a board to make up the height difference. The top looks like it's melamine or something, I'm not actually sure what it is, but it was 16 inches by 5 feet. We stuck the cube shelves together with a nail gun and nailed it to the wall in a few places. It was a little bit difficult because of the baseboard, things don't sit flush against the wall, but we were able to make it work. He also helped me hang a pegboard above the shelves. Since the plug was going to be hidden behind the cubes, he cut a notch in the tabletop so I could run a power strip up through the top. Once everything was built, I got back to work organizing and putting the cubes back in the shelf. I wanted to do a cute little stop motion thing, but it's a little bit wonky because I had two little helpers in here that kept bumping into the tripod. I adopted 2 kittens last week. Their names are Millie and Marty, and they are about 2 months old. It's been a lot of fun taking care of them, but definitely a lot of work. I'll introduce them properly in another video, but yeah, I got kittens, so that's exciting. I tried to go through each bin and get rid of anything that I know I won't use. which of course is always hard because I always manage to find a way to use pretty much anything. I recently bought a 3D printer, so I moved all my 3D pen stuff in with my 3D printer stuff. I took the vinyl labels off the bins and found out that apparently the paper that I use fades, so I took the paper out to replace later. Now that I've been working with Cricut, I have a bunch of rolls of vinyl. It's a little taller than the bins I have, so I picked a cube that didn't have a back and pushed one of the bins in there sideways. I put heat transfer vinyl on the bottom and used this piece from the bottom of the bin to make a divider. Then I put normal vinyl, transfer tape, and infusible ink on top. I put my easy press in the bin next to that. Next, I cleaned off the shelf. It's been sitting here forever and most of the stuff on here doesn't get used much. I took everything off the shelf and moved it under my standing desk, since it was shorter than the minimum desk height. I cleaned off the desktop again. It seems like I'm always doing that. I wanted something nice to hang up here. 1, I wanted to cover the cords, and 2, I just really needed a change of scenery. I found this tapestry on Amazon that was the perfect size, which I had the fan on if you're wondering why it's moving, but yeah. I circled back to the pegboard and 3D printed some hooks. Obviously you can buy pegboard hooks, but I figured, I have this 3D printer, I might as well use it. I found these blue baskets and used them to hold my Bluetooth printers. I also hung up my jelly plate, brayer, and put my hot glue gun in one of these metal buckets. I put my Cricut mats above my Cricut and used the magazine holder I made from old records to hold my scrap binders. I put a larger sketchbook beside those and used an old shoebox to hold some random items. I got this Alex drawer style organizer at Michael's, since I don't have an IKEA near me, and if you try to order anything online from there, they try to charge you $100 for shipping. It's ridiculous. But anyways, I put that in this taller drawer organizer on the right side of my desk. The taller set of drawers kind of leans to the side and it kind of needs something to hold it up, so that's why I did that. Even with the overhead light and my studio lights, it still seems to get really dark in here. To help that a little, I bought these daylight white LED strips from Amazon. Since I have to use this outlet for more than 2 things now, I stuck a power strip under my sewing desk, then started hanging the lights. These lights have a switch to turn them on instead of a remote. I didn't mind that, especially since they were cheaper. I brought the LED strips up and around each pegboard and underneath the window. For filming videos, I find that it's better to have daylight or cool white lights instead of the warm yellow ones. These are also dimmable, which is nice. I realized that a few of my bins didn't have labels, so I made some using the same technique that I used in my Cricut crafts video. I just looped some ribbon through the top and tied them to the bin handle. I might end up replacing all the bin labels in here eventually so that they match, but I'm not too concerned about it right now. I also made a few more things with my 3D printer. I made this USB cable organizer to fit on my pegboard for any extra cords. I also made this little drawer to go underneath my desk. This was printed in a few different parts. I used epoxy to glue the base together and used command strips to stick it under my desk. I used this to hold a few extra pencils and pens. I also made this SD card holder and this pegboard tray that I put some extra pens in. There has definitely been a learning curve with this thing, but it was cheap enough and it's been pretty useful so far. Now, realistically, I doubt that I'm going to stand at this desk all the time, but this purple chair really isn't the most comfortable thing ever. So I replaced it with this exercise ball chair that I got from Amazon. It comes in 2 sizes, and I'm glad I got the bigger one. This has actually been surprisingly comfortable so far. You can sit on it normally and kind of move back and forth, on your knees, crisscross with your feet up, whatever you feel like. The only problem is that the kittens like to hide under there, so I won't really be able to use it until they get a little bit bigger. But yeah, that is my new and improved desk area. I thought about taking the top off the desk bike so I could put it under my standing desk, but I decided to leave it on there to give me an extra work surface. I moved my old desk chair in front of my sewing machine for now. I still have to finish organizing the pegboards and go through a few more drawers, but overall I'm super happy with how it turned out. So let me know in the comments, have you been working or doing school from home this year? And if you have, let me know, if this is different for you, if you found it easier at your actual school or work, or if you find it easier working from home. I personally love working from home, but now the fact that everyone else that I live with works from home, it's a little bit more of a struggle. But I've done both online school and public school, and I will say I think actually being in class for school, I found a little bit easier just because, it's easier to stay on task that way. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, a huge thank you to FlexiSpot for providing the standing desk. The link for that's in the description. If you're not already and you'd like to be, make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this one. My merch, my website, and all of my social media will be linked down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys later. Bye!